So I'm in the gym, and I put on Pandora, and I put on my special AC/DC station, because I'm going to kick it on the elliptical. Who comes on but one of the greatest frontmen of all time, Freddie Mercury. And he's saying, I just want to break free. And the whole song is about breaking free. And I went, whoa, that's a talk title. And I started to focus on this idea of what does it mean to break free? What are we limited by? And so we go off on Friday and we go see this movie, Inside Out, the Pixar movie, which is absolutely incredible. And it gives you this phenomenal demonstration of memories that are in the shape of balls. And they've got sad balls and happy balls and anger balls and all of these type of things. But there were some of the memories were core memories. And those core memories are what we come back to. And those core memories are not necessarily always good. They're whatever experience is really anchored into our life. So I take that, now I go to another movie, and I go to, is it The Yes Man? Yeah, remember that movie with Jim Carrey? And he had everything he had to say yes. He had to say yes, and he had to say yes, and he had to say yes. And you know, people are doing that. People are really not doing that. Do you know that? Because if we say yes to more, are we not coming outside of our patterns? Are we not stepping outside of the habits? Are we not stepping out of the life that is just Groundhog Day over and over and over again? But yet, there are people who say yes to all this new stuff, and yet their life doesn't change. So that asked me to go a little bit deeper into the concept that saying yes, but not changing the filter through which we look at life causes us to have the same experience. That filter being the perspective in how we're looking at life. So I was watching a little Bruce Lipton this week. And you can see I assimilate information from all sorts of sources because it's all one mind. And everyone has a different way of doing it. So I want you to visualize a little box over here, okay? And picture this box represents 5%, okay? 5%. And that's your conscious mind, okay? Conscious mind. Now picture a big box over here. And that big box is 95%. And it represents your unconscious mind. All right? Now, so you got the 5%. And this is what you're thinking. This is what you remember you're thinking all the time. So when you're having any type of conscious thought about anything, you're doing some analytics, you're doing something, it's this 5% over here. But now you've got the big gorilla over here, right? 95%. That's a lot bigger than the 5. And in there are thought patterns or memories or programs or apps that are in there that have been installed in us from the day we were born. Most of those applications or programs that are running automatically behind the scenes are going all the time. And so all of a sudden we have this dream, we have this image of what we want, and we want it so bad. Our conscious mind is focused only on this, only on this, only on this. And then we're not getting it, and we're in conflict, right? We're in conflict, and we're saying, why am I in conflict? I'm focusing on what I want, I'm focusing on what I want, I'm focusing on what I want. But over here, we've got this program from when we were young that's running saying, no, that's not what you're going to get. So you got a program here saying, I want to be wealthy. You got a program down here from your parents that only very few people got wealthy. Being wealthy is not good. Money doesn't grow on trees. All of those type of affirmations. So you've got this program running. It's automatic. It's deep in the subconscious. And you're trying to put out here in consciousness, and you don't get it. The key thing is, okay, we've got a conscious desire here. This is the cognitive mind. This is the right brain. That's the creative aspect. How do we now make this the priority and now deprogram the subconscious mind, uninstall the application or uninstall the program. And I don't have the actual quote with me, but one of the gentlemen in the men's group brought this quote. It was really, really powerful. We don't even know who the author was, but I'm going to break it down in Lee's words for you. You can have a thought, and you can start to create an affirmation where you start saying, I am abundant. I am financially free to do what I want, when I want, how I want, whatever. And you keep saying that over and over and over and over, okay? So you're building a mental atmosphere. Key thing is next, what's the feeling? Where's that feeling at that you've tapped into that? Can you even begin to believe it? So you start building an affirmation. You get specific. I want to make $100,000 this year. But right now you're making 20. 20 to 100, pretty big leap, would you say? Can your mind even begin to fathom it? Can your mind grasp it? Will your mind, based on the hidden pattern down here, build a feeling of exuberance about going to 100, or will it doubt it? Oh, not everyone's going to get that. I can't make it. It's too big a jump. See where I'm getting at? So how do we take this and build this huge feeling? And here's the thing. We build the idea, we attach a feeling, we visualize it, we close our eyes, we feel it with everything we got. We center into it. Here's where we miss out. We don't stick with it. We haven't made it the number one thing in our life. Where we say to ourselves, no matter what, this is what I'm committed to. There will nothing get in my way. I am committed to being in the most loving, easy, joy-filled relationship that is possible. It flows to me, in me, as me. I get juiced by it. I get so juiced that it becomes my way of being. I start vibrating in energy. An energy aura comes out. You've heard of auras? Well, aura is just energy leakage. Now, if you went to where my father lives in Maui at the assisted living center and you talked about leakage, it would not be energy. Because it's amazing when you go into an assisted living center. It is a unique experience. I digress. But you see, we get the idea a desire is formed. And let's break it. Let's even go further. A desire. How do we get a desire? We have contrast. From that contrast, we get the desire. Once that desire gets great and we really want it, we start focusing on it. But we realize that if we don't have it, that means there's a program here. See, if you don't have something in your life, there means there's a program down here saying you shouldn't have it. You can't have it because you're wired differently. So you realize you want something, you don't have it. You realize there's a program here. So now you're going to start to create a new affirmation. You're going to start building feelings all around it. You're going to commit yourself to it. And you're going to say, there is no possible way that this is not going to be mine. I have this. I own this. It is who I am. I dedicate my life, my being, and everything about it to it. And I'm not going to listen to anyone else. This is where you got to take the naysayers out of your life. This could be your husband, your wife, your children, your mother, your father, your work people. And we had this discussion in the men's group. Do you tell your dreams to people? Because when you tell your dreams to most people will tell you what you can't have and why you can't have it. Guess what? Fire them. Get them out of your life. Say, I'm sorry, you're going to talk like that? We're not talking again. Sometimes I have to do that with my wife. Doesn't last very long because most of the time she's supportive. Most of the time she's supportive because, see, we're not perfect all the time. You see, that's the other thing. To be gentle with ourselves and accept ourselves and forgive ourselves for not living up to this image that no one could ever live up to. You see, the idea of being human is to be in contrast. To be in contrast means we are going to be off mark at times. You can't be experiencing new if you don't go off mark. Does that make sense? And when I say off mark, being off the direction where you're headed. So it's not a bad thing. So when we talk about it, when we talk about being directed thinking means I know what I want. I direct all my feelings at it. I direct all my energy at it. I am committing to do whatever it takes. And when you have that power, all of a sudden, you've broken free. What have you broken free of? The patterns of thought, the programming of the past down here, the expectations of others. That's what we're breaking free from. We're never breaking free from an individual. We're never breaking free from a job. We're never breaking free from a boss. We're breaking free from misperceptions that we've created in our lives. What did we watch last night? Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding with Jane Fonda. And Jane Fonda was this hippie. And she had this daughter who just got asked by her husband to be divorced. And this daughter was a lawyer. And not only was this daughter a lawyer, but there was this stick going right up her back. And so she was so rigid, so shut down. And she shut down because her mother was a hippie, and when she was a girl, she was embarrassed. So she built this belief here that to be free like her mother was bad, and she would never allow that to be her experience. And so she went through life with this automatic belief going, and she had an absolutely miserable life. And then she went back to be with her mother, with her two children in the movie, and she was able to find herself again. And there was a very symbolic moment when she took a balloon with helium in it, and it was attached to a sandbag. And she'd been told by this man, you got to release your sandbags, or you'll never fly. Well, your sandbags that help you fly, those are your programs, your automatic things that are holding you back. You got to let them go, and you got to reinstall new ones. So I've been thinking about I woke up at 1:30 today. I get up early. I get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock to do meditation. But I woke up at 1:30 thinking, what sandbags am I holding on to? And I've got a lot of sandbags. So it's not bad to have sandbags. It's good to realize that we have them and then find a way to let them go. And no matter what our age is, see, this is what happens as people start to age. They say, well, I should have done this 10 years ago. I should have done this 20 years ago. I should have done this 30 years ago. Well, no. Now is all we've got. This is the only moment in life, is this moment. So when we release that bag that we've been carrying around for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, we live. And when we live in this moment, we are tapped into infinite joy. And that joy now says, okay, you've risen this far. When you've risen this far, you find out, I got another sandbag. You let that go and you rise even higher. You see, we are without limits. And when we realize that we are without limits, we've broken free. See, this is the result. This is what we call it daily spiritual practice. We can take the word spiritual out. That's a nice word. It's a flowery word. But it's a daily practice of claiming your power and using your power to create the life that you choose. And then to reclaim your power again and choose a life another level up and another level up. Because as the infinite expressing, we have no bounds. We have no bounds. The only bounds we create are within the perception of our mind. Question I ask, are you willing to let go? Are you willing to commit to you? See, I'm not asking you to commit to anything but you. Because when you commit to you, you are now powerful. And it's not a partner. It's not someone else. It's not a minister. It's not a practitioner. It's not a husband. It's not a wife. It's not a mother, a father, a child. That is your source. Your source is within you. And when we can embrace that, an inner sense of peace just fills us, and it radiates out, and we attract back to us that which we are. That is a divine relationship. That is love. That is all we ever seek. Let's pray. I want to thank you for joining us today. I am so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask you to go to our website. Once there, click on the Contribute button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to the world. I would also ask you to please share this message with anyone you feel might benefit. Again, I want to thank you for joining me and the Agape community as together we bring joy to life.